Good morning, 6A. So I have a lot to go over with you this morning. I hope that you've been keeping up with the Class Dojo class story because I did post a really cool problem of some real life math happening. So what I want you to do is I want you to tell me if my husband was correct or if I was correct, because we really need you to settle this argument for us. So take a look at the class story, find my question about taco seasoning, and I really would like you to answer that. Um, but besides that, we're going to keep moving on. And I know you guys picked up a packet this week that was pretty long from the district. It was like 117 pages, which is crazy, but don't let that freak you out because that's going to be enough for us to cover over the next few weeks. So we're going to go over that a little bit at a time over the next few weeks. This week, I just want you to look at the first 12 pages. So that first 12 pages is going to start on this page that says lesson 29 at the top, analyze numerical data. The page number at the bottom is 329. And we're going to go all the way to page, the page that looks like this, which at the bottom says page 342. Okay, so we're just going to do the first 12 pages of that packet today. And that's where you can stop for this week from what I'm going to be going over with you. If you want to keep going, totally fine. You go get it. That's fine with me. Just want to let you know that that's what our videos are going to cover this week is those first 12 pages. So let's start. There are a few things I want to go over with you first. So I'm going to make myself a little bit smaller. Okay, we're going to talk about mean, median, mode, and range. Now, this is something that you actually will use a lot in real life, a lot like many of the sixth grade concepts that we've learned this year, but this is something also we have not gone over in class yet. So I really encourage you to check out Khan Academy for some more specific videos where they're going to break it up smaller and give you more practice that I can't give you in a short YouTube video right now. So check out Khan Academy. I have already assigned those for you. They should be under your assignments tab on your page. If you need your login information, let me know. Okay, but let's take a look at some key vocabulary. So mean, when you say mean, I'm not saying, oh, my little brother is being mean to me, right? Totally different. Mean has a different meaning in math. The mean in math means the average, okay? So we're gonna be taking a look at a bunch of numbers, right? A set of numbers that we're calling the data. And that data or that data, right, we're looking at all the numbers and we're trying to figure out some tendencies of them. What do they do? What do they mean? So when I'm trying to find the average of all of the numbers, we call that the mean. Okay, you could also see the median, right? If I list out all of my numbers from smallest to biggest, the mean is the one that is literally right in the middle of the data, okay? So the mean, that average, and the median, both of those are what we call a measure of center. They're telling us about where the middle is, right? What's kind of right in the middle there? The mean and the median can both tell us that. And we're going to talk a little bit later about which one would be better given a certain situation. Okay, the mode is the number that you see in your data the most often, right? So my sixth grade teacher taught me that the mode starts with the MO. The mode is the one that you see the most often, right? That MO, maybe that'll help you out a little bit remembering that. The range is the difference between the minimum, your smallest value, the smallest number in your data, and the biggest number in your data, okay? And that tells us how much, basically how much is between all of those numbers, right? If I take my biggest one and my smallest one, the difference, meaning I need to subtract, right, is going to tell us the spread of the data. How spread out is it? How far apart is that biggest number from the smallest number? That's what my range is telling us. And then something we have to keep in mind is an outlier. So in the data, we might see something that's an outlier. You might have heard that word before, but the outlier is a number that just seems way far away from the rest of the numbers. And I'm going to show you an example of that here in a minute. But let's take a look first. Here is some data that I have collected or that I have provided for you. You can see right now that they're all kind of in random order. the first thing that you always want to do with your numbers is you want to reorder them from smallest to biggest. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take this, and I see a 1 and a 1. So I'm going to start with my 2 1s. I'm just taking my numbers I already have. I'm going to cross them off so that I remember that I already wrote them down. I see that I have a 2 and a 2, 2, 2. Then I have 3, 3, 3, 3 threes, 1, 2, 3. I see I have 2 4s, and lastly a 7. Okay, so all I did is I took all my numbers, I wrote them from smallest to biggest. Now what I'm going to do is we are going to find the mean, the median, the mode, and the range. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the mean. So to find the mean, that average, I'm going to add up all of my numbers, and then I'm going to divide them by how many numbers there actually are. Okay, so I have 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 7. I'm going to add up all of those. And when I add them all up, I'm going to add them really quick. Well, 7 and 3, that's 10. 4 and 4 is 8 plus 2, that's another 10. 3 plus 3 is 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 plus 10 plus 10, that gives me my total of 30. Okay, you could also use a calculator, totally fine. These are pretty small numbers, so I just added them real quick in my head. Now, after I add them all up, the second step to finding the mean is I need to divide that sum by how many numbers there are in my data set. So when I'm going through here, I see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 numbers were in my original data set. I don't care about how big or small they are. I want to know literally how many numbers are there. And I'm going to divide that 30 by how many there are. 30 divided by 10, we should all know, is 3. So in this case, my mean is 3. Okay, now if I do the median is the middle number. So if I go back to my original set of numbers, I'm gonna use purple here. The median is literally what number is right in the middle of them, okay? So I'm gonna put a little dot, or you can slash them out. As we're going, we're gonna go from the outside all the way into the middle. The easiest way for me to do this is to say, okay, well, here's 1, 2, 1, 1. Take away 1 from each side until you get to the very middle. Now notice that right now I have 2 numbers in the middle here. Now, those 2 numbers are right smack dab in the middle of my list. That's my median. Since they're both the same, I can just go ahead and say that my median is 3. If those were different, then I would need to find the number that was directly in between those. So for example, if we pretend, now this is a pretend, if we pretend that those 2 middle numbers were a 3 and a 4, I would have to ask myself what number is directly in the middle of 3 and 4, and it would be 3.5 is in the middle of 3 and 4. But because they're both a 3, we know that it's just 3. Okay, then let's take a look at the mode. This one's pretty easy because all I have to do is look at my numbers, right? So when I look, what number do you see the most in your list? Well, I have 2 1s, I have 2 2s, I have 2 4s, but I have 3 3s. So in this case, my mode, the number that I see the most is 3. Sometimes you might not even have a mode. So there might be where every single number, oh, I got a message from a parent. I love parents that have been reaching out to me and saying hi, hello. So the mode, if I don't see any number repeated, then you might not have a mode, and that's okay. Sometimes you might have the same number, or you might have 3 3s and 3 4s, in which case you have 2 different modes, and that's okay too, okay? Then lastly, the range. The range is, like I said earlier, the difference between that biggest value and your smallest value. So when I look at my list, my biggest number all the way over here I see is a 7, and my smallest number is a 1. So my range My range is 6. That's simple. You just subtract them. And what this tells us is that all of my data is between 7 and 1, right? That range from 7 to 1 is going to be 6. It tells me how spread out my data is. The smaller the range, that means the closer together all of your data points are. The bigger the range means that it is more spread out. Okay, so that's a quick overview. Like I said, check out Khan Academy for some more specifics about that. And let me know if you have any questions in the comments or on Class Dojo or text. So many ways that you can reach me. You guys got this. I believe in you.